Okay, here we are after a 6-6 week for me on the predictions, making up for some fucking awful, just awful predictions from me in the past. Yeah, first of all, picking myself to win over Kinch in week 13. Yeah, we got it done in spite of the shite performance from Buffalo and from Ramondre. We had David Montgomery had a pretty nice outing against Green Bay. Stephon Diggs though really did the work. Yeah, there was a nervous time where I was watching it on Sunday night again, and yeah, it was creeping just up and got within a couple of points. Pacheco doing his best to fuck me over, but we got it done. We got it done thanks to Evan Engram, tight end 2 on the week. Thank you very much. And a couple of other nice plays. 14 points from your kick is always nice. Matt beat Jim rather handily. So this had huge playoff implications. We needed Jim to get the win to really open up a lot of fun scenarios around Connor potentially missing out, me potentially missing out, all those other things. But Jim could not get it done. If it's any consolation though, Jim, like even your best team, like even putting your best team out there would not have helped you. Like this was an outrageous performance from Matt. Even with fucking Trevor Lawrence bottling it, Kenneth Walker dying, Saquon having a bit of a quiet day, Devontae Adams, man, 33 points is just fucking ridiculous. And Keenan Allen looks like a steal, especially with Baltimore Ravens QB Lamar Jackson going down. Yeah, fuck, that's just absolutely ridiculous. As we head into the playoffs, which you are pretty much a shoe-in for now, like we'll review the table in a minute, but yeah, you are pretty much a shoe-in for it now. This is a very scary team to face. Devontae Adams just looks absolutely unstoppable in Las Vegas, and yeah, AJ Brown looking great. He's, there's a reason Hurts is QB2 on the year or whatever it is. So yeah, this is a very scary team. You're not always going to get 30 points from your defense, but honestly, even if you got a standard 10-point defense, that's still fucking so many points. For Jim, he still has a path to make the playoffs. We'll go through that later on. So next up, I had Mark beating Ed. Mark got the win, 114 points to 98. This really, it doesn't kill Ed's playoff chances with the Matt result, but it definitely makes it a hell of a lot harder. Again, we'll get into that matchup soon. Mark finally doing the right thing, playing Tony Pollard. Christian McCaffrey had a hell of a game. Christian Watson looks like an absolute steal. You've got a real problem when it comes to keepers, man, because it's like, Joe Mixon's going to be good. McCaffrey's good. Pollard's good. You also got Watson, you've got Cooper, you've got Pittman, you've got Kittle. There's a lot of options for you there, and I know you've got a lot of picks as well. So yeah, those are good problems. One of them good problems. Connor seals up the playoffs with a win over Numbnuts. He's been very consistently scoring over 120 points, Connor has, so looking good as he goes into the playoffs. Numbnuts was actually a respectable outing the last couple of weeks. He's got nearly 120 here and got over 100 versus me. So yeah, he's had a couple of respectable outings. Could have really played like spoil sport for a lot of playoff campaigns, but Connor gets it done. Thanks to Jalen Hurts getting 33 points, really helpful. Ezekiel Elliott just scores touchdowns, doesn't he? That's all he does. Very, very good. Devontae Smith had a day. T. Higgins had a quietish day, but still nice enough. Chris Godwin he's now like the number one target for Tampa Bay. And Tom Brady's not very good, but it's still a nice place to be. Good floor. Yeah, just a very solid performance. Apart from Hurts, there's no real person carrying this team like there is with Matt's 33 points and 27 from AJ Brown. It's all solid performances across the board, and you still have room for growth there as well, where Nick Chubb can go off and stuff like that. So yeah, if you get this and you get a couple people popping off in playoff games, you are looking good. On the other side, it's not a bad performance at all from Num's team. And I think you can definitely feel hard done by. Adam Thielen, it's time to let him go. You could have started Judy and won. You could have Well, yeah, you could have put Judy in over him and won. It's a tough call to make. Maybe I would have done it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that's Connor got the win there. That was 4 for me. Nick versus Damien. Bit of a standard win for Nick. Damien got very unlucky with Lamar Jackson going out after about 10 plays. Jamal Williams got the touchdown, which makes him quite useful, and Josh Jacobs, like he's like running back 1 on the year or something. He's just absolutely outrageous, to be honest. But Nick, like 30 points from your QB on a week where you were, yeah, I mean, you're recovering from losing Cup. Still, you had left some points in the bench with Curtis Samuel, maybe, but yeah, like it's amazing how potentially bad this roster is for Nick. You know, he had a down week from Kelsey and all this sort of stuff, but then he's still got people like Joe Burrow stepping up and dropping 30 pointers for him. I don't think even if you got a full game out of Lamar Jackson though, Damien, I think that you wouldn't have had enough here to get ahead of Nick. Just not enough from people like Zay Jones and Jacoby Myers, really. Yeah, it was tough having the Hopkins more bye, to be honest, and Kyler Murray as well. But hey ho, that is the end of your playoff hopes. Enjoy the toilet bowl, and I'm speaking for all of us when I say I do hope you lose it all because you do the best fucking pizzas. So yeah. Final game, the hero play that we all wanted. Andrew Skelton gets the win over Mike Davison, 116 to 90 points. Skell moves to 7-6 and is actually in the driver's seat for the playoffs. And we'll get into scenarios in just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert still had a crap day, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is just absolutely carrying this team. Over the last couple of weeks, he has just been ridiculous. Look at this: 29 points, 23 points, 11 points, 17 points. Like this is what you had at the end of last year, and I can see why you wanted him. Yeah, if this keeps going, like you're golden. You're looking good. Jamar Chase comes back, gets a nice reception load. You just need like Justin Herbert. Like he's got Keenan Allen now, so that should help improve things. If you get Mike Williams back as well, yeah, things are going to start looking good. And you got a couple of options at running back. You just need better matchups really for them. You've got one more week, and then this is like not only the best season you've ever had from a fantasy perspective, you could make the playoffs as well. Like there's a very, very good chance of that happening. So yeah. Anyway, 6-6 on the week. Not complaining about this at all. Very quick review of the league. So Numbnuts is now at the bottom, 3-10. Say now at the bottom. He's been at the bottom for fucking ages. And then yeah, we have Kinch who drops to 4-9. Damien drops below Mark at 5-8, but this is all irrelevant. Here is where the action is from number 8 up to number 5. From number 8 up to number 6 are all fighting. 3 of you technically Matt is as well, but 3 of you are basically fighting for the 6th spot here. And this is how it shakes out. You have Ed on 1,310 points in 8th place. You have Jim on 1,320 points in 7th place. And then you have Skell on 1,340 points in 6th place and a win ahead. Ed plays Jim this week. So the winner of that game needs to outscore Skelly by 20 points if you're Jim. Sorry, 22 points if you're Jim, or 30 points if you're Ed. You need to do that, and you need Skelly to lose. This is like such a good opportunity for you to make the playoffs, Andrew. I truly, truly believe you can do it. Above that, so we have Matt, myself, Matt on 7-6, myself on 8-5, Connor on 9-4 on 1,350 points, Mike on 9-4 on 1,426, and Nick on 9-4 on 1,571. Nick plays Mike this week, and Connor plays me this week. So Connor can go top if Mike beats Nick, Connor beats me. Wait, Connor, how the fuck can you go top? You fucking lied to me, you piece of shit. Sorry, Connor can get a bye week, not go top. Yeah, so Connor beats me, Mike loses, Connor can get a bye week. Yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit irrelevant to me looking at it. Like a bye week, it doesn't really matter. You still have to win three. You have to keep winning either way, so it doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, so Connor beats me. Nick beats Mike. Connor gets a bye week. Mike drops into 9 and 5, and then it depends on. Well, yeah, I'd be 9 and 5. I'd be 8 and 6, so I'd be in fourth place still. And then Matt this week plays. I think he plays like Numbnuts or someone shit. Matt actually plays Mark. Nice. Okay, so yeah, Mark, he's at the playoffs. If Matt gets a win this week and I get a loss, Matt could jump up to fourth spot. That's his highest possible finish. So yeah, I think, but either way, in terms of the difference, in terms of the difference that would make, Matt's playing fourth or fifth no matter what. So it kind of depends who he wants to play in the playoffs. Does he want to play against me? Does he want to play against Connor? Does he want to lose and Skell to win? So he's in sixth place and then he plays against whoever's in the third. I don't know. There's some very interesting scenarios there. But it's all irrelevant. It's all shuffling things around. There's only really 2 games of consequence, and this is all we got to remember. Ed versus Jim. Whoever wins needs to outscore Skelly by 20 or 30 points, and then they take his playoff spot. Skelly, you're in. You win, and you're in. Win and in. Andrew Skelton in the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. This is what we all came here to see. I believe so strongly. I've said it all season. I've never wavered, not even once. I've said, Andrew Skelton, you're making the playoffs. I've always believed. Okay. Anyway, that's the league table. We'll have a quick go through transactions. I don't think there was that many worth talking about. Yep. So tight end bullshit. Jordan Mason just. I mean, he looks like the guy behind CMC, but it's not really that valuable. Las Vegas defense, if you held on to them, they've got a good matchup this week. That's good numbnuts. Kinch, like, I don't know why you're bothering, man. Amir Abdullah, okay, if Josh Jacobs is out, fair enough, but I don't know why you bother. Trouble Hubbard, Matt shuffling around, Gerald Everett. Don't pretend like you don't want him, man. We all know you do. Going into waivers then. So, Matt Hall gets what is potentially the prize cow. James Cook, he had an increased snap share, a much higher percentage of carries, and a lot of targets as well. 6 targets. This is what everyone gets excited about, the 6 targets. Is he... I don't think you'd play him this week. I get you need cover because Kenny W is potentially dead. But I don't think you'd play this week against the Jets. I think this will tell if he's good or not, if he does well against the Jets. I don't think he will, though. So, yeah, good luck. Skell dropping $8 dues on a defense. I understand why, because you've got what's-his-face in. It's not Lamar, it's going to be the other one. I think it's a bit of a trap there. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense is not good, but more importantly, their offense is not good either. So that means their defense is on the ball a lot more in worse positions. I think it's a bit of a trap, but it's not the worst play of the week. Gerald Everett picked up for Chase Claypool being dropped. Yeah, interesting. I can see why you get rid of Chase Claypool. Outbid Mike and Ed on that one for $6 dues. I don't know. Like, he's not anything. I guess a lot of targets. I guess I don't know. I'm not really that high on Gerald Everett. It's the Chargers, man. They're not that great. I picked up a kicker because my kicker's on a bye. Greg Dulcich picked up very, very cheap. I think this is a trap, Ed. I wouldn't bother with... Well, to be fair, tight ends are all bullshit anyway, but I wouldn't bother with Greg D. I think it's... I don't think Russell Wilson's good enough to to make anyone consistent. Ed gets the Tampa Bay defense. They have San Francisco this week. That is optimistic, my friend. I can see you are already thinking ahead for the toilet bowl final where they have Carolina. If that's what you're doing, I mean, I guess maybe you're gambling Purdy sucks, but they have enough going on in the ground game where I don't think this is a good play. I probably they're on a bye week, so you can't. Yeah, okay. Getting off Green Bay's fine, but I don't think Tampa Bay are the play. Justin Jackson, fair. I mean, he's a guy. Whatever. Mike White. What's happened? What's happened, Matt? Is Justin Fields dead this week or something? Oh, Chicago's on a bye week. Okay, doesn't really matter for you there. You're in the playoffs. I don't know who this is. Rashid Shaheed. Sure. Enjoy that one. I would have probably stayed on Curtis Samuel myself, but sure. Yeah, okay. And then Nick Folk for a kicker. A load of silly moves. Just so Nick gets Justin Jackson and then drops him for Travis Homer. Why don't you just go for Travis Homer, man? What's all that about? And then you get Ty Johnson as well. For the other guy, you got Rashid Shaheed gone, Ty Johnson in. What is that? Fucking hell, mate. Okay. Mikey D picks up Tyler Higbee. Sure. Yeah, I think he's again, if they're down to that shit QB, like, why bother? I'd stay off every Ram that's not named Cam Akers, who I have. Kinch gets Nico Collins for Jermichael Hasty. Sure, I probably would have stayed on Jermichael Hasty. I think I don't know. It's not great. It was a bad game that week, but yeah, you're chasing a touchdown here. Yes, there's a lot of targets actually. Okay, I don't hate it. It's a bit meh. Who the fuck is this, Mikey D? Chigoziem Okonkwo. Apparently led in receiving yards. I don't know who this is, but sure. And Jim. Jim gets Odell Beckham right as the Cowboys are saying they don't want him. Oh dear. All right. Well, those are your transactions. Nothing really worth noting there. So what we'll do is, we've been through transactions, been through the league table. We will have a brief look at Week 14 matchups. Okay, so I'm not going to put my predictions out now because I know things can change, but I am going to look at every matchup and I'm going to look at potential areas of weakness. Then I'll go through available players and look at where that can be improved. So me versus Connor. This game, if Connor wins, like I said, he will go. If Connor wins, he will go into a bye week slot for the playoffs, and that will mean Nick and Connor are most likely in a bye week slot unless Mike wins somehow. Which is quite interesting, given all the kerfuffle at the start of the season around defensive scoring, that they both come out anyway, and it's all kind of come out in the wash. I think it's quite an interesting matchup. I'm predicted 116, Connor's predicted 114. He's playing at the minute. You've got DeAndre Swift in, you've got Nick Chubb in. DeAndre Swift versus Minnesota. Like, Detroit love a shootout, so I don't hate that. You're really powered by Jalen Hurts and hoping he connects with Devontae Smith or AJ, instead of AJ Brown. Overall, though, it's a very, very strong roster up and down here. I think the only weakness looking at it is probably it's trusting DeAndre Swift, but you don't really have a choice because, well, Zeke versus Houston is probably a better play. It's probably a better play is where I would go. I mean, this is a very tempting stat line, though, isn't it? You got 14 carries again, 6 targets. He's almost being used like a normal running back again, but I don't know. I don't know. I would probably go with Zeke this week. I know you're not going to trust me because I'm the enemy. That's understandable. But I would possibly go with Zeke, and I'd definitely look at changing defense. Although George Pickens, that QB, or Kenny Pickett, whichever one he is, fucking sucks. So it's probably fine. Probably fine. Um, you have got the classic thing of your tight end playing against your defense. That's not such a big deal, really. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. On the other side, I'm really powered by this Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack, and they're up against the Jets defense, which I think is a fucking awful matchup. But I just have to kind of live with it. Um, when we get into the playoffs, it's a lovely, lovely schedule for the Bills. Miami is going to be a shootout. Chicago, if even better if Justin Fields isn't playing. If he is playing, even better because it's a shootout. And then Cincinnati, a bloody shootout with Joe Burrow. Like, yeah, lovely schedule to finish the year. Not so fussed about this week, to be honest, because again, it doesn't really make a difference for me. I've qualified either way. It would be whether I finish fourth or fifth in the standings. If I win points for wise, I would flip with Connor, I believe, but it doesn't really make a difference because yeah, I would barely if I win, I'd barely flip points for with Connor. I'd need to outscore Mike by like 50 to get into a bye week slot, which I just don't think is going to happen. And I mean, playing Skelly round one of the playoffs would be nice, but it doesn't really make a difference. Like, if Skell makes it, cool. Like, you still have to beat him. He's got Amon Ra. He's got a dangerous team. He could put up a score. Um, if I have to play Matt, that's fine as well. He's got a very, very good team, but if we can get rid of that, then the playoffs are kind of blown wide open because Mike's team's crumbling. Nick's team is on very, very shaky ground. Connor's probably one of the most dangerous ones left, I would say. So yeah, I think it would be very interesting. I'm leaning at the minute towards predicting Connor, but I will lock that in later on in the week. Next we have Matt versus Mark. Not much to talk about here. Mark, unfortunately, the team hasn't lived up to the hype. Well, I'll tell a lie. You're still like one of the higher points for in the league. So yeah, you've been quite unlucky. Like you're probably like fourth on the list, I believe. Third. I think you're third on the list of points for. So yeah, you've been very unlucky. You don't deserve to be 4-8. Um, I think selling Jalen Hurts was a bit of a turning point for you. Kind of Dak had that pretty good game. Then you sold him. I think it was about here that you sold him. So and he's just been meh since then. A lot of reasons to be excited for next year, but I mean, here going against Matt's team, you're having to start Mac Hollins. That's not a game I want to play. Isaiah McKenzie, like Buffalo was sniffing around Odell Beckham, so that kind of tells you everything you need to know there. George Kittle is now on the third string QB in San Francisco, and then Minnesota. Like, yeah, you're probably going to change defense here, but it's not great. You're definitely going to avoid the balls, but the bake off, but this is not great. On the other side, the fact that you still predicted 120, Matt, or 110, sorry, with Trevor Lawrence in at QB and Chuba Hubbard in says a lot about the power of your team here. Like Keenan Allen's looking good, Devontae Adams looking good, AJ Brown. This is a scary trio, man, and Saquon Barkley as well. I'm leaning towards Matt there. It's going to take a lot to change my mind. This is the big game, though, the real big game. Jim versus Ed. So Jim needs to win and score big. Ed needs to win and score even bigger. So yeah, it's a tough spot to be. If you look at where the points are going to come from Jim, it's like you've got Tua, who is probably going to play. You've got Jalen Waddle, so you're hoping a big connection there. DK Metcalf, you're hoping it goes to him instead of Tyler Lockett. Wide receiver 3, I'd look to try and improve there. You've got Carter in. Yeah, okay, that's the best you've got right now, but it's not great. San Francisco versus Tampa Bay, I love. You've ridden San Francisco defense most of the year, so that's nice. David Njoku, I don't know, like Deshaun Watson is not exciting for Cleveland. I'd possibly look at shifting off there. I think I've talked about this exact matchup before, though, where you two played each other, because I was like, again, it depends who Tua is going to throw to. If Tua throws to Tyreek instead of Jalen, this really all starts to go Ed's way. And against the Chargers, I don't think it resulted in a huge score last time. I feel like they played already. Oh, maybe they haven't. Anyway, yeah, I don't. The Chargers' defense isn't that great. Miami's defense isn't that great either. So we could end up with a shootout, or we could end up with a retard off. I'm leaning towards the lower scoring end. I don't think Miami have the capability of just scoring 40, 50 points and then not letting the other team score that much. I think it'll be a lot slower. I think they'll try and lean on Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert a little bit more. Ed, I hate to say it, if you're going to have Deshaun Watson in at QB, then I'm going to call this for Jim. Watson looked fucking atrocious. Absolutely fucking atrocious versus whoever they played last week. Looked fucking awful. And I get why you'd bench Brady. He's got the San Francisco defense. It's a real rough matchup. I would be looking on the wire. I would be looking out there for something else because, yeah, I don't think Watson's going to get it done. Hopefully you can get a miracle from Tyreek Hill. Hopefully Hollywood is back and fully healthy. And hopefully Etienne scores a lot of touchdowns because that's what you're going to need. But yeah, I'm gonna, if Deshaun Watson's in, I'm going to pick Jim to win there. Kinch versus Numbnuts, completely irrelevant game. I'm not going to spend too much time here. You mainly got to think about the playoffs or the poo-offs for these guys. So yeah, I don't know. Traylon Burks, I don't think he'll be healthy enough to play. I really like Kinch's team. Like, it's weird that it's just like if you had a decent QB, I know I took Josh Allen off you, but if you had a nice QB, like this would be great at this time of year. On the other side, though, like playing Thielen's not very good. Playing, I'd probably lead Numbnuts here very slightly, very slightly. I think again that the projector is a bit of a misnomer because you've got a dodgy defense in, but I quite like the Jets defense this week. Could be okay. Yeah, I'll probably lean Numbnuts on that one, but again, it's a bit of an irrelevant game, unfortunately. Skell versus Damien. So for me, this is all about how many points Skell can score. Michael Carter versus Buffalo is not the one. You don't have any other options though because of bye weeks, which is real bad. We'll have a look at waivers in a minute and see if we can find you a better tight end, a better wide receiver Scale. But the rest of it is okay. You've got Justin Herbert against Miami, which should be a shootout. Jamar Chase coming back, looking good. Amon-Ra St. Brown in a dome. Fucking yes, amazing. And Tyler Lockett versus Carolina, who suck. Yeah, these are all great matchups. You can't be too upset there. Harrison Butker at Denver, mile high means he's going to have kicks going in from all over the shop. Yeah, lovely to see it. On the other side, it doesn't really matter. Like even if you win, as long as Skell outscores the other two. So yeah, I like the Slayton pickup. DJ Moore, is it Sam Darnold now? I don't even know who the fucking QB is. I hope what you're hoping to see here is a nice Kyler Murray Hopkins connection. Because if that's firing, you're fine in the poo-offs. You'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, that's what you're hoping for. And then the last one, which could potentially make a buy slot change hands. You've got Mike versus Nick. I look at this like Travis Homer. Is that who you're having to start a running back? Johnny Taylor's on a bye. I think this might be. I know he's predicted to win at the minute, but this might be where Mike just comes out of nowhere with an 150 point score, and Nick limps into the playoffs off the back of a poor running back performance. Eckler's got a nice matchup against Miami. Mahomes is in a bit of a shitter, but he's got Juju back, so I think they'll be looking to make that connection again. Mike Evans is a bag of shit, and he's going to keep being a bag of shit. But Gabe Davis is okay. I don't even know who your fucking tight end is, man. That's the weirdest shit. But anyway, Travis Kelce again. He's in a bad matchup, so this is gonna. I think it's probably gonna be lower scoring across the board than what is predicted. Justin Jefferson should have a field day against Detroit, though. Yeah, I'd probably go spicy here and pick Mike to win, mostly because it'd annoy Connor as well, and that's really funny. But yeah, but yeah, I'll do my actual predictions in the chat. I'm gonna put it all in this one now because I can't be asked doing 2 episodes a week anymore. Yeah, we'll have a quick look at waivers. All right, we'll do waiver wire pickups real quick. QB wise, I had a quick look at QBs. Only one I would potentially change is Ed starting Deshaun Watson. For me, that's a huge gamble that I don't think is going to pay off. He looked properly fucking bad in his game against Houston, and Houston should be an easy, nice warm-up game, and he just looked awful, didn't he? So yeah, I would avoid Watson, and then we also have there was someone else as well that I think should have changed. I can't remember who it is, so it can't have been that important. Oh yeah, Matt with Trevor Lawrence on Mike White. I think Mike White's fine, to be honest. But mostly for Ed, in terms of QBs, I think Ryan Tannehill's a trap versus Jacksonville, but they did just get spanked, so maybe he's okay. But the one I'd go for is Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff will be fine versus Minnesota. It should be a shootout. Amon-Ra St. Brown's, I could pretty much lock him in now for 2 touchdowns and possibly even another one to TJ Hawkinson. So yeah, I think Jared Goff's going to be great. I would even rather play Huntley over Deshaun Watson. Hell, I would even rather play Purdy over Deshaun Watson. I think Purdy, with a week of training, all he has to do is get the ball to CMC, and yeah, he will be fine. So that's the QBs I would play over Deshaun Watson. Matt, if you're starting Mike White or Trevor Lawrence, I'd probably be looking at Jared Goff at least over that. Yeah, I think Mike White is going to disappoint you if you play him this week. You've got no harm in, like, you're already rolling the dice with some shitter. I'd roll the dice on someone like Purdy. But again, there's better options there. Running backs. So I noticed Nick had Travis Homer in his lineup at the minute, and we have Skell with Michael Carter against Buffalo. I'm sure there's some other bad matchups in there as well, but those are the 2 that stuck out to me. I think the game you guys should be playing is grab as many running backs as you can from Seattle. So just grab them all, because if Kenneth Walker doesn't play, if only one of them's actually good to go, then they're going to get a good workload, and they're probably going to be fine for fantasy. So yeah, that's what I would do. So grab DJ Dallas, grab Tony Jones Jr., and yeah, just hope that the guy you have is the one that's actually going to play. The other option, if you actually need points, for me, I would go with Alexander Mattison. I think he's your best bet for a touchdown. So yeah, if you get a touchdown, you're happy with him. If you don't, you're not. So yeah, Alexander Mattison, he does get on the field a bit. So yeah, or Kenneth Gainwell again. You're hoping for touchdowns or catches from those guys to get the job done. Wide receivers, there's really, like, again, I haven't looked at people's rosters to see who's starting shite, but you've really got like DJ Chark. Now DJ Chark actually should be okay with Amon-Ra and the tight end Hawkinson drawing away coverage. DJ Chark should be alright, should see a good number of targets and be okay. Richie James, bad matchup, I'd probably avoid. He's a bit of a trap. You've got Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who I quite like. If I had the room, I'd put him on my roster now, because I think he's going to be used more than you expect going forward. And then also, they're on the bye week, so they're kind of like going under the radar. But Curtis Samuel, if I had the room on my roster, I would add Curtis Samuel right now, and I would also add Jahan Dotson right now as well. I think, again, the wide receivers in Washington are actually they're okay, especially with Heineke. They're okay. They're a bit hit and miss, but better than some of the crap that we're starting at the minute. So yeah, I'd look at those guys, especially Dotson if you're a keeper needy team. He was a first round pick, wasn't he? I think so, yeah. So fuck it, just he's a cheap keeper. If he doesn't pan out, he doesn't pan out. Tight ends, God, what a depressing landscape. Tyler Higbee is a trap. Do not bother. Even if Walford plays, do not bother. Noah Fant is probably fine to start. Yeah, then the rest of it is you're basically picking guys and hoping for a touchdown. My choice this week would probably be this guy, Daniel Bellinger. Yeah, because I think he likes scoring touchdowns, and he's not had one in a while. Anyway, yeah, I'd go with Daniel Bellinger. Like, yeah, it's tight ends. I don't really give a shit. Defense, it's not a good week because we have got 6 teams on bye, so you're really struggling for choice here. I would look at the Bengals against Cleveland because I think Deshaun Watson's a bag of shit. Failing that, I think Arizona against New England because I think Mac Jones is a bit of a bag of shit as well right now. So yeah, those are the 2 options I'd look at. A bit easy because they're at the top, but yeah. The only other one, if you're really wanting to roll the dice, the Broncos against the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's my thinking there. KC are away. The Denver Broncos defense has not been the problem all year, and it's probably going to be a really slow game. It's probably going to be like 15. It's probably going to be like real time. Like 15-minute quarter is going to go in like 20 minutes. So yeah, that I think it's risky, but I wouldn't hate it. It's not the worst thing I've seen. But yeah, I haven't looked at who's starting shit defenses at the minute. I think there's only like Kinch with the Jets against Buffalo that they really hate. So yeah, if you've got the room, Kinch, like I would definitely start the Cards or the Bengals over that. But other than that, I think everyone's probably okay. So yeah, those are my waiver wire pickups. I'm probably moving to one show a week as we go into the playoffs. So like I say, I'll put my predictions into the chat later on. And I'll be focusing more on outcomes of the brackets as we go through them because we won't have a league table to review. So yeah, enjoy, and I shall see you all on the other side.